Hello, it's the Friday Talkie. Right, this is probably going to be a little bit of a short one, as I did most of my talking earlier in the week with my Q&A video. 25 minutes, I think that was quite enough. But yes, I do have a topic to talk about today. My system review this week was going to be, well, it is going to be late. It's probably going to be at the weekend. I'd hoped to have had it done by now, but whilst sorting it all out, I found that my Commodore 64 is dead. Much sobbing and weeping and mourning, and no, not really. I've got no real sentimental connection to the Commodore 64. I hadn't turned it on in 15 years, quite literally. I don't actually even remember if I've ever used it before, beyond turning it on and seeing that the red light came on. So this time I turned it on and the red light came on, but I had it connected to a TV this time. I don't remember if I did 15 years ago or not. But anyway, yes, nothing happens. You get a white screen and nothing else, nothing works. I'm very, very fortunate in having a friend who offered to take a look at it. By no means a professional at these things, but you know, he's done a few and fixed a few and offered, and I'm very, very appreciative to him. And this got me thinking about the whole, what do you do when your retro kit dies thing. My normal tendency is I'll have a look inside it. If I can't see anything that is obviously dead, like black and charred or popped out of a socket or wire broken or something, if there's nothing obvious that a complete, I mean, inexperienced at electronics doesn't even begin to explain it. I'm lucky if I don't know, burn the house down with a soldering iron. You know, clumsy, clueless. I don't do electronics, haven't got a clue. Occasionally people say to me, I've got a problem with blah blah hardware, and I'm like, blur. Don't ask me, I ain't got a clue. Yeah, my tool of choice would be a sledgehammer. So, yeah, the first thing I ever do if a machine dies is I look, see if there's anything obvious, and if it's something I can fix, because it might be obvious but still beyond my ability. If a pointed stick won't do it, I forget it. So the next option with me is like throw it out the window or something and buy a new one, or new old one. I mean, I say that I used to consider that everything in my collection worked, but it turns out that I've got now three systems that are pretty much dead, and one that I probably can fix. And my policy would normally be throw them out. But, and this is the thing, is a dead system worth keeping? Because even though, okay, I can't play games on them and demonstrate what they're like, there is still that, here's what this old system that you can't buy anymore looks like. And I have had people come into my games room and go, oh, I remember this. And it's just that nostalgia hit, and they don't necessarily want to have a go on it or anything. It's just like, there it is, that's what they look like. People remember them. So there is some value in keeping them even if they're dead. Though I absolutely do intend to replace them if I can't get them fixed. But it is a curious thing, you know, how much value is there in a dead machine? I think there is some. The other thing that this whole dead Commodore 64 has got me thinking about, I'm convinced there is a niche or an opening in the market for retro gaming repair people. Back in the 80s, and indeed right through into the 90s, I was on the CB radio, Citizens Band, you know, 1.9 for a copy, hello, come on, good buddy, blah blah, rubber duck. And wherever you were, okay, there were, for a while at least in the 80s, there were CB shops. You could buy your CB there, and if you were having trouble with it, you would take it along to the shop and they could fix it. That was great. And as CB died out, those shops closed down, and it became harder to get your CB fixed if you weren't an electrician or electrically minded or something. But wherever you were, there would always be at least one person in your area who became known as a rig doctor. It was someone who either knew the Cybernet motherboard or the Uniden motherboard, and they could fix it. And this, I think, is there is an opening for this kind of thing. I don't know, a shop or mail order or something. I am sure, I mean, there were people who will have worked in the electronics and computer shops back in the 80s who specialised in repairing dead 8-bit computers and 16-bit, and in fact I know there are people who do it, because at Replay and other shows there was, where was it? It was one of the little side rooms. There was a guy or guys who were fixing computers. Now there's got to be some kind of commercial opening here for a shop or a website or something, you know. Send them, take them dead computers, they can fix them. Something like that. I see an opening. I'm surprised. And maybe one exists already. I mean, obviously there was this room at Replay, so is this some commercial operation? Or a hobbyist who just happened to be really good and was offering his services? I don't know. But I do see a commercial opening for fixing stuff, because I mean the expertise, I'm sure, still exists. I wonder if there is somewhere that does that and I'm just missing it. It just got me thinking about it, really, with the whole Commodore dying thing. Okay, I don't have another topic to talk about. Yeah, so I'm just going to go straight to the shout out. Okay then, this is Old Classic Games, and it is exactly what it says. It is old classic games, arcade games, I believe, largely. I don't know that there are console games here. There is no talking. It is just oh yes, there are console games as well. There's some NES stuff here. It is just gameplay from old games, and there are masses of them. It's really a case of, if there's a game that you remember from back in the day and you think, I want to see a video of that, or if you just want to sit and scroll through masses and masses of old games and just see gameplay and nothing else, this channel is great. It's chock full of them. It's been here, how long has it been here? Not April 2010, and he's got, what has he got, 224 subscribers at the moment, so he's doing quite well given the amount of time he's been here. I started watching it because it got like really old stuff, and it's right at the start. I'm trying to get to it. The kind of stuff that was in the arcades when the arcades quite literally started, you know, the really shockingly primitive stuff, and that drew me to it, because I love those, the ones where gameplay is just like, it barely qualifies as a game. And any channel that's got videos of iRobot on it, because I love this game, is good with me and totally worth a look. And this channel is all about the gameplay. There is no commentary, there is just gameplay of old games. And if that's your cup of tea, and it certainly is mine. I mean, normally I go for channels with commentary. I like commentary. But the variety on here is so good. And the fact that it does the really old stuff, you really got to be an old git like me to remember them. The fact that you can find them on here, it just does it for me. It's great. I thoroughly recommend it. Old Classic Games. I will put a link down in the info bar thing below this video. Right, closing comments. Do I even have any? Not at all sure. There will be a system review coming up hopefully over the weekend, and that will be the Commodore 64 GS. I had wanted to do it already, but no live chat this weekend. Got too much stuff going on at the moment. Things are a little bit chaotic here. Thinking about, I did a video, I think it was last week's, where I was talking about the new YouTube layout. It is difficult to find, or you're missing stuff. I was missing stuff, people uploading and you don't get to see it. And it occurred to me there is another way of finding out when people are uploading their stuff, and that is Twitter. I have managed to see a whole load of videos that I might otherwise have missed through Twitter. Quite a few retro gamers from the YouTube gaming community are on there and very much worth following. And here we go, shameless self-promotion. I am on Twitter. There is a link down there. There's always a link down there, but I don't know how many people read the info down there, because it's mostly the same old thing. But yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter if you would like to, and want another way to see when I upload stuff and whatever. And it's just damn good fun. There's a lot of chatter goes on between all the YouTubers on there, and it's a really good laugh. And you can see stuff happening before you get to see it. Well, I say see, you get to know about stuff happening on there before you will ever see it on here, which is cool. Keeps you in the loop. Yeah. Okay. Don't think I've got anything left to say. Doing that Q&A this week, it so completely sucked me dry of, that sounds bad, doesn't it, chat, talking, words. It's really hard to think of things to say at the moment. I need to recharge my verbal batteries. Yes, okay, thank you for watching.